Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for coming to this press conference on EUPOL COPPS, the EU police mission in the Palestinian territories. This press conference with Mr. Kenneth DEANE, who is the head of mission for EUPOL COPPS, but also with Major Loay IRZIQAT of the Palestinian Civil Police, and Ms. Eman JAMOOS, judge from the Palestinian High Judicial Council. All three speakers will give introductory remarks in English and in Arabic, and then you'll be able to ask questions. Kenneth DEANE, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for taking the time to come and hear about EUPOL COPPS. EUPOL COPPS is what's called the Common Security Defence Policy CSDP mission in the territories. It's been established since 1 January 2006, so one of the longer CSDP missions. And one of the reasons that is because 27 member states see the continued importance of this mission to work along with Palestinian counterparts in respect of its state building programme. It's a mission that really comprises two main arms, I would say, one being a policing arm, a policing element, and the second being a wider rule of law and a criminal justice reform programme. It's a mission that comprises around 70 international colleagues, along with a number of local national staff. I'm pleased to report we have one team out in the mission. We work very close together because our mandate, our aim is very simple, and it's really in the short to develop the Palestinian institutions, to introduce effective and equally importantly sustainable policing and wider criminal justice arrangements. I think it's recognised, irrespective of where any state or land is, without a functioning criminal justice system, a state will always be at a disadvantage. Without a credible, professional, impartial policing system, a state and its people will never enjoy the full range of freedoms or indeed statehood that one might expect. So the mission really is focused simply, but quite complexly at times, to develop the Palestinian civilian police, to become a credible police force, one that will serve its people fairly, impartially, credibly and professionally. And that policing obviously function is only one, albeit a very important element in that wider criminal justice reform programme. Policing really is the first step where most people meet the criminal justice system, but of course next steps include the prosecution, the courts, the wider judiciary and even in the penitentiary. And not just those what I call more operational functions, but those functions must be enveloped, must be within a wider policy strategy, which actually really is then cascaded down by the ministries, in our case, of Justice and Interior. So operationally we work very much with the Palestinian Civilian Police. There are a number of other policing agencies, security services, that we're not mandated to work with. We simply work with what we call the blue ordinary civilian police, and with the Minister of Interior and his ministry in terms of policy and strategy development. On the wider criminal justice side, we work very closely with the Minister of Justice and his ministry, and of course with the High Judicial Council around the courts, and I'm pleased to have a judge here to my left today to keep me right. We also work very much with the Bar Association, with the Attorney General's Office in terms of that prosecution type development. So in a nutshell, it's a mission mandated by 27 member states under the auspice of this Common Security Defence Policy. It's there with the ultimate aim to develop sustainable, effective arrangements, both in policing and wider criminal justice. And in doing so, we work not just unilaterally with these colleagues left and right, particularly in the police force and in the judicial institutions, but also we try our best to coordinate our efforts with other international bodies, whether it be American, unilateral European programmes, or anybody who wants to help. We're quite happy to do business with, because ultimately our client, our joint success, are these colleagues to my left and right in the wider criminal justice system to develop those sustainable institutions. Thank you very much for your attention so far.